Hello, hello, hello. All right, we're going to jump right into this. There's been some breaking news in the court battle between the FBI and the Juggalo family. According to Fagel Lovers, posted this up today. I'm just going to read it real quick, and then we can discuss. It says, the lawsuit filed by the ACLU, ICP, and Juggalos against the FBI over the 2011 FBI gang report has been dismissed. Detroit federal judge Robert Cleland ruled that the government isn't responsible for acts by local police agencies that use the 2011 gang report. The ACLU and ICP announced their appeal of the decision to dismiss the lawsuit. The ACLU has released a lengthy statement with comments from Violent J, and I'm going to read the press release for you right now. Detroit. The American Civil Liberties Union of Michigan, along with the music duo ICP, appealed the federal judge's order dismissing the Juggalos' case against the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation. The lawsuit was originally filed in January on behalf of Juggalos, the fans of ICP, that'd be us, claiming that their constitutional rights to expression and association were violated when the U.S. government wrongly and arbitrarily classified an entire fan base as a hybrid criminal gang. Last week, the U.S. District Judge Robert Cleland dismissed the lawsuit, claiming that ICP and its fans lacked standing, the legal requirement that forces individuals to prove they were harmed before they can sue. In this case, the judge stated that the Juggalos suffered harm at the hands of local law enforcement agencies in the U.S. Army, not the FBI. Ooh, fucking loopholes. Sorry, that was my own comment from the peanut gallery. Here's a quote. The only way to remedy this injustice for all innocent Juggalos is to start with the root of the problem. The FBI's arbitrary and erroneous branding of hundreds of thousands of music fans as gang members. And that's a quote from Michael J. Steinberg, ACLU of Michigan legal director. There is no doubt that the FBI created this problem, and the solution begins there as well. Otherwise, we'll be playing whack-a-mole to stop local law enforcement agencies from discriminating against our clients when the agencies are just following the FBI's leads. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of 4 Juggalos and 2 members of ICP and stems from a 2011 decision by the DOJ to include the fan group in the agency's 3rd National Gang Threat Assessment, officially identifying Juggalos as a hybrid gang. As a result of this unjust designation, individual Juggalos are suffering improper investigations, detentions, and other denials of their personal rights at the hands of government officials, or denied employment. Another quote, this is not the end. We'll keep fighting to clear the Juggalo family name. Joseph Bruce, a.k.a. Violent J, member of ICP. There has never been and will never be a music fan base quite like Juggalos. And while it is easy to fear what one does not understand, discrimination and bigotry against any group of people is just plain wrong and un-American. Fucking go Violent J. Sorry, another comment from the peanut gallery. Juggalos are the self-identified fans of ICP. They often express their affinity for ICP by displaying the Hatchet Man logo or other ICP insignia on their clothing, jewelry, body art, bumper stickers. Juggalos often come together at concerts or their annual week-long summer gathering. Hey, yay! They consider themselves a family of people who love and help one another and enjoy one another's company. Juggalos are not an organized fan club, but a group of people who bond over the music and a philosophy of life, much like Deadheads bonded around the Grateful Dead. Thank God they didn't use the Justin Bieber analogy. Sorry, another comment from the peanut gallery. The federal government estimates that there are more than 1 million Juggalos in the United States. The ACLU of Michigan and ICP are asking the appeals court to overturn the judge's order dismissing the case and to order the DOJ to remove the Juggalos from the government's list of gangs so that the fans of ICP will no longer be unconstitutionally and unjustifiably singled out as targets for scrutiny and harassment by law enforcement authorities throughout the country. The lawsuit goes on to assert that the DOJ's classification of the Juggalos as a gang is unconstitutionally vague and violates the Juggalos' constitutional rights to association and free speech. Last paragraph. The Juggalos are represented by the ACLU of Michigan, attorneys including Michael J. Steinberg, Dan Mary Moss, and the ACLU operating attorney and James of the law firm Miller, Canfield, Paddock, and Stone. The members of the Insane Clown Posse are represented by Howard Hertz and Elizabeth Thompson of the firm Hertz, Schramm, and Ferris F. Haddon and Ferris F. Haddon and Associates PC. All right, a lot of fucking names and initials at the end of that. But this is pretty discouraging, man. Who the fuck are they trying to kid saying that the FBI or the government isn't responsible for local law enforcement's using the gang assessment list? It's almost like saying that putting someone on that list doesn't mean dick. By being put on that list, it's basically like a fucking huge red flag to profile anybody who's repping a hatchet or anything else psychopathic. Fucking hate the court system. Man, alright, sorry, I'm a little perturbed. What do you have to say about all this chaos?
Well, it's nothing new. A lot of people should know by now that the justice system in the last who knows how many years has been very corrupt and stuff.
Yeah, you can say that again. I'm a little tongue-tied here. I guess sharing this news is kind of like, it's a bummer, but I'm really proud of Violent J and Shags for not giving up. I think it's very honorable to fight the good fight and to stand up for what is clearly something that should fucking matter to everybody. I mean, well, it's pretty fucking sad. But you know what? It shouldn't come to any fucking surprise. I don't even know what else to say, honestly. You know, there's a part of me that wants to be optimistic and say that there's no way that the government can get away with this. But you're right, man. There's a fucking shit ton of corruption all around us. And I don't bring up and talk about politics, government, international matters.
Same here.
I don't bring that shit up at all. Not here on CarnivalSpirits, and very rarely with my friends. It's not really a high interest area for a lot of people I know. But for the past year or so, I've kind of been addicted to watching the Young Turks internet news, and I tell you, I've learned a lot about what's going on in the government in Washington, and it's disgusting the amount of, first of all, corruption, racism, classism, sexism.
Also religious persecution.
Oh, yeah, all over the place. It just seems fucked up, man. I feel like the only way this is going to really matter to a lot of people, besides just Juggalos, is when the next fan base gets targeted. It's going to have to happen to somebody else besides Juggalos for the rest of the world to wake the fuck up. Unfortunately. No, this is bullshit. So what, they said that the examples of wrongdoing that they came to court with were not good enough examples of Juggalos being done dirty? Because why? It was all like local law enforcements that were doing the profiling and not the actual FBI? That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
It's like, does local law enforcement in every state now work for themselves? They're like individuals. They don't supposedly work for the government now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do know this. Hip-hop music is supposed to call out injustices.
And fight the system.
Fight the system.
In the words of Public Enemy, fight the power.
And look, we're talking to Juggalos, but if there's somebody who found this video because of the title of the video and you're interested in this subject and you don't know what ICP is all about, that's the problem. Because if you don't know what it's all about, then you're going to make assumptions. And you're going to make assumptions based off of what you see and hear and read, and everywhere you go, it's all bullshit propaganda. Now, I know that, you know, doing video blogs, sitting here on YouTube, maybe it's a little stale, it's kind of boring, you know, but what we're doing is we're communicating. We're mass communicating here. And Chaos, you and I, we've been doing this damn thing on YouTube since before Juggalos were labeled a gang. So it's not like that's the reason why we're here, but I do kind of feel like there's a charge or there's a calling that we need to step up and speak out on our own behalf and defend ourselves. Whereas maybe years ago, you know, standing up and defending ourselves against fucking haters is kind of, I mean, it's your choice, but it isn't really necessary because nobody gives a fuck what a hater has to say.
All I gotta say is the haters aren't the enemy. The real enemy is the one that's persecuting you and stuff and calling you something that you're not.
Yeah, you know, half those haters, y'all are just as fucking liable to be labeled as a gang member yourself. I mean, take our homie Atticus the Death Metaler, for crying out loud. What if Cannibal Corpse fans get labeled as gang members? He's going to have to come get some advice from us Juggalos on how to deal with it.
All I gotta tell people is that if you know you're not a gang member, then you should know that you're not. You know what you are, and the only person that can say what you are is yourself.
I think one of the biggest bummers of this is that it's so clear to me that ICP's music has been a positive influence, not only on myself, but on droves of ninjas who had nothing else going for them except possibly a fucking miserable, stale-ass fucking street life running with a gang. You know? I almost feel like ICP provided an outlet, an escape from that fucking go-nowhere trap of a life. And they did it by not shunning it, not casting it aside, ruling it out, but by embracing it and showing love to gang members, you know, like as if they're fucking people too, you know? I mean,
or they're just talking to street people in general.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like they only wanted to connect with gang members, but the truth is that what's a kid gonna do when the school system is not gonna help them, and maybe the church isn't gonna help them, and their own fucking blood family isn't gonna help them, and their community isn't gonna help them. I'm not saying that ICP is supposed to be, you know, raising the fucking kids of America that got nowhere else to go, but you can't deny that there has been an incredible positive influence rippling across the fucking world because of what ICP has done. Look, my point is that ICP speaks out against this very type of sickness. Whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in heaven or hell, it's kind of more along the lines of believing in right and wrong, believing in the light and the dark, yin and yang.
It's all up to you what you decide to use. Are you going to live your life in a light way or in the path of darkness, pretty much?
It's all about karma. And every step of the way, I've felt nothing but inspired and motivated and humbled and I say humbled because I'm not just a juggalo, but I'm also a writer, a lyricist, and I expressed and poured my heart and soul out on tracks dedicated to ICP, tributes to ICP and the Juggalo movement. I don't come up here on Carnival Spirits and whore my music out to you guys. I have my own personal music, and then I have this tribute music that has reached so many ears, and you know, I've gotten like so much feedback from it that there's no question in my mind that the Juggalo family is a positive thing, because I have been contacted by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Juggalos telling me that they can relate to my words. And my words were coming from my heart. I have fucking experienced proof that what is in my heart is also in other people's hearts, okay? So I think I feel like I know what ICP feels. ICP knows that they have a strong connection with the Juggalos. And that's why they can persevere through all the bullshit and the hate and the slander and the jokes and the hate and the hate. Because people constantly let them know how much they mean to them, you know? It's just tough shit for all you haters out there. There's enough of us that love this shit where we're going to keep the gears going.
And they know they're the world's most hated band, but does that stop them? Nope.
Chaos, thank you for joining me on this hangout. I'm BstMstR. We're ninjas in action. This is Carnival Spirits. Always remember to fuck off. Peace out, guys.